Go ahead.
Thank you.
No,
so
thank
hi,
you.
everyone. Of course. Hi, everyone. It's Janelle Scott from Imperial Oil here. We've got Sophie here with us today, and she will be taking for today some of our virtual best practices that we've seen from some of our resellers online. And we've got two resellers here to share their experiences with us. So we've got Marie. She is the content developer at Pepco. And once again, back by popular demand, we've got Alexa from Maritime, the marketing coordinator. So they're really here today to make sure that this content stays relevant to our branded reseller network, and that, you know, the opportunities we're discussing, they can really provide some insights and some tips on, you know, things you might consider considering this sort of downtime rut in marketing. I think I said this last month, marketing is a little bit of a confusing place right now. Do we post content? Do we not post content? Do we focus on community support? So I think there's a really good mix of a lot of that in here today. So looking forward to another good session. If you have any questions, feel free to turn your microphone off and ask away, or provide them in the chat box. I'll monitor the chat box if any questions come up. So other than that, I'm going to hand it over to Sophie to get things started.
There you go. So thank you very much. And this is being recorded as always, and we'll send it off to the team after today. And what we did was we practiced a couple of times with Alexa and Marie, because we wanted to make sure that we're giving you examples that made sense in your industry. And so I will talk for a little bit, and then I'll hand it over to the team here, and they're going to be sharing their own experiences, and looking forward to doing that with you. Yay.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so I am now going to start from the beginning. So yes, this is us. So we cheers, you guys, and we are here to talk about some virtual best practices and Google My Business. And you may say, why are you doing Google My Business again? Because we did this 2 sessions ago, and we wanted to come back and ask if you had any further questions. And what's happened since we did it the first time, there has been some questions from some of the resellers, and we're addressing them for you, okay? So, basically, with the virtual best practices, we're finding that they're in 3 buckets. One being, one moment, please. There you go. So there are in 3 different buckets. One being our internal virtual, internal team best practices, and we have uncovered some internal team best practices. And 2 being community communications best practices, and 3 being your virtual client best practices. So internal team, your community, and your internal and your clients. So my question to you all before we share what we've seen is, do you have anything that you wanted to share with virtual internal team best practices? So what are you thinking internally, virtually, that there might be some best practices that you've seen? Does anyone have anything they want to share, or just think about it for a second? What are you doing differently right now that you didn't do before? And the chat box, Janelle just shared with you where the chat box is. So one of the things that we saw that's been different is the use of video to communicate to each other as a team. And we're going to ask Marie in a second to share something that she's done. So that's one of the best practices. Obviously, virtual teams is another best practices, and virtual team tools like this. So one of the one of the things we mentioned when we were on virtual team practices, when we talked about it just a little bit last time, was don't forget to schedule regular face-to-face like this team meetings. Because if you don't, your team's going to start feeling like they're alone, and you won't be on the same page. Virtual milestone reports. We use something called Smart Sheets. Everyone uses something different, but have virtual milestones. Nothing makes you feel more proud of what you've accomplished through the day than indicating this is complete. And then the rest of the team sees it's complete. You still feel like you're part of a team. So virtual milestone reports are really helpful. Another thing would be virtual team meeting etiquette. Try and make sure everyone has, number one, the ability to talk and share. So go around the table, as it were, to get everyone's input. Make sure that you have the ability, like the chat room where Janelle is watching it, to see if anyone has a question. Don't miss that opportunity to have somebody monitoring to make sure people can ask questions. One of the things we do in one of our other groups is we almost call it the talking stick. Make sure that everyone has an opportunity to have that talking stick and they communicate. If someone is talking, they should try and take a breath when they're done, which is something I forget to do often. So you can wait to see if anyone else has something to say. Because obviously when one person is talking, they can't hear if someone else is trying to say something. And as I mentioned at the beginning, one of the things we're going to show you next is video updates to each other versus long emails. When we were all together in the office, you were able to drop in and share conversations, but now you're putting them into emails. So one of the things that Marie did was this video update, and I'm going to ask her to tell us why she did that and maybe show it to us. So I am just about to
I'm presenting now. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Marie. I work at Pepco. We have 5 locations. So I decided to do a training video because I feel like we're being bombarded with long corporate emails, procedures, policies, program launches, whatever it is. And like, I'm the worst. My attention span is really, really short. And I like dynamic, interacting stuff. And I have access to all applications from Adobe, and I just started playing around with Adobe Spark. And I did a quick training video. It's like 3 minutes 34. I won't play it that long. I'll just show you a bit. Okay, so there it is. So my video is on the social media branding because right now, like Janelle was saying, we're stuck in a content rut. What do we do? Do we remain like kind of silent? Do we go all out? What do we share? What do we don't share? And I realized that it's the best time to create the brand and to reinforce the brand, actually. So Sophie, there's this pop-up here that I cannot press play. I'm just trying. There it is. Okay, so I started my video by thanking the team to continue working in these hard times. And I explained to them that I really wanted to create alignment with the sales team, the customer service team, and the marketing within the company. So what I did is I explained, we are, if anyone, if you haven't read the Clockwork book, I suggest you give it a read. It's really good. So basically, the sales team, the marketing, and the customer service team, we are working to attract and convert customers. So I explained why our image is negative, and it's not just because we're Pepco, it's just like math. So I pulled some stats here just to like, so they can see it, and said that they could help. Just going to, and I took a snapshot of the actual reviews. Like, it's hard to see, but that's the reality. Told them that like negative reviews required much more work, and I would rather see like a higher ratio of positive reviews versus negative reviews. And then I explained why, how, and at the end, I showed them the email that I would like for the customer service team to send out after they had a success phone call or whatever. Whenever they feel like the customer is very happy and we're able to help them, and maybe it would be a good idea to send it out. And so I want to have more Facebook and Google reviews. And at the end, I just like stated examples, why or when to send it out. And after I made the video, I had a chat with Sophie, and I realized that for the sales team, I could just send them the direct link by text. So I will keep the desktop version email for the people that are talking on the phone, but for our sales rep, I will ask them to just send the direct link by text. So like by making this video, I thought to myself I had one shot to be heard, and I'm hoping that this will do it. So whenever I'm ready and it's ready to launch, I've asked the directors to launch it to their teams, so they will watch it together. And afterwards, they will invite me for a session so I can talk with my teammates and explain in depth and answer some questions. And just hoping that this will be it. This is my shot to be heard.
So the video is something that you used a tool to create. There's many different tools there that people can use to create. And in that, you were introducing something new, trying to explain to them why it was important, as well as showing them how to do it. So that became a video conversation versus a long email. So that's one of the best practices that we wanted to share with you guys today. And in that, we realized that that's where one of the Google listing questions came out of, as to how do we claim with one email a number of different Google locations. And that's what we're actually going to be sharing with you in a few minutes in the same webinar today, is how to claim multiple locations, and then how to ask for reviews, just like what Marie was asking her salespeople to do with this video. The concept was, if you have a positive interaction with someone, send them this link and ask them for a positive review. Because as she was saying in that video, people's kind of behavior is, if something went well, they don't really go and do a review. If they're upset about something, they might do a review. So this way we're encouraging the positive reviews. We're going to share with you how to do that at the latter part of this webinar. So should I go forward now with the...
Well, I just want to add that, Sophie,
Okay.
like, I did this with I recorded myself with Microsoft Teams, because this is what we have at work. And I used Adobe Spark, but I could have recorded myself on my phone and send it out. It doesn't need to be complicated. If you're not that savvy with softwares, like, just record yourself, send it out. We're all human, and this will do the work.
Marie makes an excellent point. What we're all finding with social media and communication right now is that it's much more authentic than it's ever been. People are doing the phone video, cell phone capture video, and sending it out. And these organizations are usually those that would have had a different style of video in the past. People are seeing authentic videos. They're seeing people that are unshaven in their, in very interesting locations, but they are sharing videos to communicate to their own staff, as Marie did here, or to their clients or their community in ways that you can do through your cell phones. So she's absolutely right. You don't need to understand Adobe Spark and others to be able to do this. Any other thoughts? Okay. Thank you very much, Marie. Okay, I am going back to my presentation. Can you just tell me, can you see it?
Not yet.
You know what? Of course not, because you'd think I've never done this before. Okay, you can try your screen. Here we go. It's doing that circle thing. We're almost there. Okay,
there we go.
I think we're there now. Okay, thank you, you guys. So, where's my PowerPoint? Here it is. Oh, shish kebab. Okay, one moment, please. Okay, so continuing, thank you very much, Marie. And exactly, you want to be able to send out videos as if there's longer communications. Pick up that phone and do your own video and send that out. It's appreciated because it's authentic, and people respond to them in a much more effective way than a long email that they might not read. So let's talk about community communications best practices. What have you seen in your community these days that you remember? It's often people giving back to their community. They've retooled to give personal protection equipment or create personal protection equipment. They're helping distribute food. So these are the things we're all doing during this pandemic. So we were able to find very easily some of the resellers who have been doing this currently. So if I look at, I just wanted to share with you this from Del Carn. They are talking here where they're actually giving, I think, free gas to people. What's this one? I'd like to take this opportunity, outstanding member of St. Mary's community, by giving him $100 towards his gas bill. And this had 2,200 likes, 155 shares. So I don't know if the team from Del Carn is on and can talk about how this even came to be, but this was giving back to the community, and it was Facebook pages, St. Mary's Life in the Spirit, as to what the grocery stores have left in stock. And he's somebody that they gave gas to. And obviously it had 64 comments. I didn't put that in the bold there. 64 comments of praise, thank you, and it's sincere and it's real. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing that in the community today to give back. So if you are giving back, don't forget to capture it. Here's another one again from Del Carn, and this one had 17 comments, 32 shares, and this is, I believe, their team actually helping people enter grocery stores, and it's Del Carn at the front there with their tent. And hats off to you, Jim, and others like you for your ongoing support. Thanks to Del Carn's safety coordinator. I mean, that's beautiful, right? And if you look at at all the comments, they're all saying, good job, congratulations, and I just can't tell you enough about how warm that makes the community feel and safe. So of course, that's how they're going to feel about you. I don't know, Janelle, if I should continue or should I ask some questions?
No, I think we can keep plugging along, but I do think, I'm going to sort of provide a shameless plug here. I think now is the perfect time for us to be leveraging our Esso community program. So for those who aren't familiar with it or aren't the key marketing contact within your organization, it's really a program that we run where we will reimburse up to 50% community support program. These are of what a community look like. So I really encourage you to think about, how do we pivot from traditional marketing, radio ads, video, to working in the community and providing some of this support community to. So I encourage you.
Should they reach out to you if they
support, talk through? Happy to do so.
Okay, so reach out to Janelle if you want to talk more about how they might be able to support you. Excellent. Okay, so that was just heartwarming when we found these. Another one is virtual client best practices. So in that, what are you doing differently now, or what's really key not to forget to do right now in this situation? And here's a good example that Alexa brought us to our attention, the email practices of sending out email updates with regards to the safety of employees and prepaid online cards and setting and how to go about distancing in our current world. And in that, the next item that we found was method of online payments. A lot of you guys are trying to move into that direction right now. And when we had this discussion amongst the four of us, it brought up a lot of conversation that in both from Alexa and from Marie. when we started talking, sorry, from Marie and from Alexa, when we started talking about the going green and trying to eliminate paper statements and going towards emailed statements and invoices. So I wanted to just end my show here and hand it over to Marie and to Alexa to talk a little bit about what they found in this transition. It wasn't exactly it wasn't bumpless. Alexa, would you like to start?
Yeah, so we told our customers like there's a couple of changes that we had to make just because due to the current situation that we're in. So we've sent out email communication, we put communication on the website just to notify customers of the changes in payment, the changes in their statements, and they've called us and they've been upset with us and they said, oh, we don't have the technology to receive payments and invoices online and email, but we've been able to work it out, and we've tried to accommodate everyone. So it's just a matter of trying to accommodate and having open communication, understanding, and being able to talk to people and just saying, these are our procedures, this is why, it's for your safety, it's for your benefit, so this is why we're going to have to do it. So that's why. Just telling them the rules, having it posted everywhere, like on the website, on social media. So me and my colleague Raina, we were just having to post it everywhere and just literally tell people that this is how it's going to be.
Marie, thank you, Alexa. Did you have anything to add on that?
Well, like we said earlier this week, like the biggest challenge is with like the older clientele, because like Alexa was saying,
oh yeah,
technology-wise, what I plan on doing, it's because we are revamping our website, and what I'll do is I'll do a landing page for people to like create not create their account, but just enter their information to become paperless. I understand this is a long process, and what I want to do is send them like an insert in their monthly statements with, it's easy, just go pepco.ca/e-billing, for example, put in your info, and month after month, like I'm not letting it go. I'll keep sending it out like every month until we.
So you have a transition process in place, and then you're not doing it cold turkey, you're doing it over.
That's what we'll try anyways. We'll see how it goes, because it's so time consuming to send communication by mail. It's more expensive. People don't realize that. And sometimes asking them, okay, please go online, go there, like it's too long for them. It needs to be easy peasy. We'll try anyways.
Lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I am going to go, you are presenting, good, okay. So I'm gonna go back to my presentation. Thank you very much. And so best B2b practices. So this is something that we were looking around to see best B2B practices. And this is something that we saw at Pepco, I think that was you, Marie, on your LinkedIn company page, that you're talking about your business operations has probably slowed down. This means you have more free time, and then you start giving business advice. So one of the things I always remembered about the resellers, that you guys are business solution providers. So as solution providers, now is the perfect time to your B2B clients to put forward solutions for them to think about in the future. And I'm just going to go back to you, Marie, if that's all right, to talk a little bit about what you had in mind when you did this as far as getting them ready for the future.
Well, yeah, like we've been pretty silent for the past year or so because I was gone on mat leave, and then I came back, and then we're revamping the website, and I had like email campaigns to do and all that stuff. But now this is it, that we're back. And what I want to do is create engagement. And this is a big challenge. I'm reading all over the web. I'm reading books, listening to podcasts, and creating engagement is very hard. So I'm just trying to get it out there, ask questions, keep it short, include a picture, not include a picture, video versus picture. It's a trial and error. But at least what I want to do is I want to create a brand. I want to have solid relationships with our customers, and I want to convert leads into customers. So I'm just trying to give free advice most of the time with no direct call to action, and then once in a while have a paid campaign or direct call to action. So this is our strategy for the year. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and so that's when we heard that, when Janelle and I were listening to that, she said, "Oh, solution selling." And solution selling or marketing isn't, like you said, always a call to action. It's giving solution advice as a solution provider, which you are resellers, as you're giving solutions to the B2B world that you deal with. And that's why they would choose you over someone else, because you have that vast experience for solutions. So now is the time to think of what solutions can help them get ready for the next season, and putting that out there. And that's what we saw in that post, which we thought was a best practice. So I don't know if there's any other thoughts, Janelle or Alexa, before I move on to the Google listing part.
No.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good to move on.
Okay, keep moving on. I think I am still presenting. Yes, good. Okay, so current slide. So Google updates since the last Google listing webinar. So we're curious if any of you have any other updates, and so we'll stop and ask in a second. But one of the questions that we had was, just a reminder why Google listings are so important is it helps you get found. It has your Google, your reviews on there, and that helps you manage your reputation. And as we heard earlier, and we saw in the video that Marie put together, it's critical to ask your salespeople when they have a positive engagement, or your service people to ask for to be able to send a little link out from your Google review saying, "Can you please review us?" so that your positive reviews increase. The listings are free. And what's great about these listings, when someone is searching for you, if you're posting to them on an ongoing basis, you are going to show up above the fold. So you'll be the first on the search results. And it also feeds voice search results. Everyone is asking Google by voice questions. It feeds the voice search results. So these are why you want to make sure your Google business is effective. So your Google business listing. So one of the questions Marie had earlier, a couple weeks ago, was how do I actually manage multiple locations? So we had a quick little conversation together, and I was able to coach her through that. And she, of course, quickly not only figured out, took it to the next level, as she always does. So which of your multiple locations? So my question to you all is, which of your multiple locations should you add to Google listings? So a lot of you have a lot of different locations. So which of your locations should you add to your Google listing, do you think? So I'm going to ask Alexa and Marie and anyone else that has a experience in that to share how they choose which of their locations are on Google listing. Marie?
I don't remember what we talked about. Like for me, all of them, unless it's like a storage area or whatever.
Yeah.
But since you helped me, we then realized all together that I had an old location that was still under our name, and it didn't look good at all because we're not there anymore. So if we were to have like a review and inquiry, we seem like we're not organized and we don't know what we're doing. So I had to let this one go.
Perfect.
But unless I had claimed all of them with you, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, so that's an excellent point. Alexa, did you have any thoughts as to
So you really want to claim all of your listings, because most of them will be like the business we're in. Most of them will be places that customers can come, and if not, there are places that people who like
suppliers,
drivers, or people who want to find your address easily online need to go to. So depending on whether you want to just leave it off there so nobody can find you. So if it's like a secret location, then you wouldn't want to put it on. But if you want to be found and you want to be ranked and you want people who are maybe service providers or drivers or gonna search you up anyway, even if you're not directly serving customers there, you should list your business just under, manage multiple locations and just have other locations listed. So not under your main location, just have, under multiple locations, you can group the locations and just have like a number of bulk plans or a number of storage locations listed there, and then you're good to go. So then you'll have them all listed online and they can easily find you.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm going to go now and just ask another question. Can you manage multiple locations from one email? So think about it. You've got the location in Timmins, a location in Montreal. So can you manage multiple locations by one email? And the answer is yes, you can. So should you manage multiple locations with one email? So we're going to share with you. So you got one email for that manages Timmins, one email that manages Montreal. Should you instead have one email that manage all your locations? We suggest you should, and we're going to show you why in a moment. Now, what you can also do is you can have one email managing all your locations, but you can have a second email also have access to Timmins, but maybe not Montreal. Maybe another one that has access to Montreal and not some of the other ones. So one, we believe, should be all of them. So there's a master email and master Gmail account for your company that manages them all. And then maybe you have someone at a location, if you are going to decentralize some of your communication effort, that has access to add some posts. But as I always said, if you recall back in some of our training discussions, you should have one central person who's accountable for your voice, for your communications. So they should be that central place. And if they're going to decentralize and train someone else in another location to post once in a while, awesome. So what we found was, just so that you can see here, when you go into your Google My Business, this just happens to be one of my clients, and you scroll down to users, this is where you logged into your Google My Business, and you scroll down to users, you can add another user. So this is what I'm saying. You have that primary Gmail account that might manage them all, but then you can add a user to one specific location if you need to. That's how that works. So managing multiple locations with one email, what you'll see here is you log in with the one email, and then as Alexa suggested, you're able to go into here where this is, I've grouped them under, in this case, this is another client, the staffing connections. I click on that and I'm able to see their 4 locations together. So that's what's really cool. Then from that one location, I'm going to hand it over to Marie in a second, and she's going to show you a couple things that you can do. One, how easy it is to add a location once you've claimed it. I think we're going to do that still. And another is, so you can't see it over there, but what it says, the first bullet is manage locations. So you're in this manage multiple locations. The second one under it is really cool. This is manage reviews. So you can click on that and manage all of your reviews from one email. So you're able to go and reply, managing that reputation. So that's critical. Remember, we were talking about how critical that is. Another thing you can do from one location, you can kind of see it over here, but you'll be able to manage insights. That's all of the activity each of your location has had. So I downloaded a report just to show you. So if you manage, you click on insights and you can download an Excel spreadsheet to your desktop, and it shows you for every one of your locations, the overall rating. And I just took this one over, so don't worry, these ratings will go up now. The overall search results per location, the overall direct searches per location, the overall discovery searches. So you can look at that by location when you have the one email, you have access to all of them. So as that central communications person, you're able to really behave as a central communications person and really understand the insights. So what happens is with managing multiple locations, you're able to indicate what is the preferred email, so they're also getting notifications. So I think at this point I was going to give it over to yourself, right? Yes. Okay. This is my key. This is my cue to give it over to Alexa. So claiming a location into a
No, I
group.
think it's to Marie.
It is Marie. Alexa, you're in my mind for, okay, sorry, hon. So let's just see. Yes, that was what I'm supposed to do now. Or now. Okay, now I'm supposed to do, no, now. Okay, I apologize. I'm being funny, but no one caught it. Okay, so, so Marie, I'm not, are you comfortable with, are you going to share your screen? So I have to stop sharing mine?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so.
8% no.
What we've done in the past is we've just had screenshots on the PowerPoint, but I think Marie wanted to actually show you how easy it was to go in to her group and add one. So bear with us for a moment. And she's just logging in live, coming to you. So right now we don't see your screen yet. Oh, yes, we do. 1 second.
I've got it. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just pin it. Okay, you're on, love. Sorry about that. I was mistaken.
So, after the last webinar, I only had the Hearst one claim because this is where I live. So I was managing Google My Listing. I thought I was doing it all. I sure wasn't. So Sophie helped me claim the Long Lac one, Timmins one, the Montreal one. It was managed or claimed under an old colleague. She doesn't work here anymore. I clicked the I won't do it again, but I clicked an option that said please send a code to the email. I had to ask IT to like recreate her inbox. Anyways, it turns out I had to follow the second step, which is to send a physical postcard to the Montreal location. So I advised my teammates and I said, whenever you get something from Google, just send me the code so I can claim. So right now we are trying live to claim my Thunder Bay location. So we'll try that and see how it goes. Okay, if I don't remember, Sophie, can you guide me through? It's been a while.
Yep, yep. So you're
now.
able to go in 3 different ways. We could have them call the 6-digit code to one of those, the first phone number or the second phone number, or in this case, which is really cool, Marie can change that email to her own email if she wants, so she can get the code. That's what we did the last time directly. And you click on email, so she's now going to get the code in her email for this. And Alexa, this might have changed since the last time you did it, because I wasn't able to do that a month ago.
How did you guys have so many options for this? Like I only have the one option, like send a postcard.
Right, but it might have changed. So there you can see she's got her unique code. It's that quick now. So
what?
This, I know, right? This is honestly
not fair.
No,
sorry.
Alexa, it didn't work for the Montreal location. I had to send the postcard out. This is working for the Thunder Bay. So did everyone follow? I went to my box, copied the code.
It came that quickly. She asked for the code, it came, and now she's going to click on verify. So now Pepco has verified this other location. So it's part of it. Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Amazing.
Yeah, okay. We're getting excited. Not everyone knows why we're excited. So
I
now
know, that's amazing. It took me like, okay, since September till just in the end of March, it took me that long to verify one of the bulk plants.
It can take forever, and other times we were very lucky. We're able to do 2 like this very quickly. I think 3 actually. And so now she's got access to it. So she's able to post photos, post posts, which are very important, manage the reviews, look at the insights, and she could add a second user if she wanted to. But right now
excited.
Yeah,
so, I guess we'll show where I go to manage all reviews.
You need to go back to right now you're in on, there you go. good.
Okay, so the thing is, I thought I had like 2 or 3 reviews altogether, but since I claimed all the locations, I have way more. Problem is, I haven't replied in like 2 years because I didn't know they existed. But anyway, this is before and this is now. So they are all there. The address is right underneath. Like this is Hearst. This is Timmins, Thunder Bay. Oh, I have one here. We flagged this one the other day. It's not taken down yet. You know, you cannot please everyone, apparently. Hearst, Thunder Bay. Oh, that's positive. So, and
So
like,
you have
so
25 pages of 9 reviews, so that's amazing. Sorry, 9 pages of 25 reviews on each page. Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah, it looks, I think that's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Okay, no, I have 9 reviews.
Yeah, and that's the rows per page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
But so like I'm so glad I joined these webinars because I wouldn't have a clue. And I was able to reach out. Sophie, she scheduled a one-on-one with me. She took like an hour and 15 minutes from her day. We had good laugh. She helped me a lot. She's coaching me. I'm very grateful and
no, thank you. And you're very coachable. Yeah. Like I said, you took it to a next level. So so when we basically did that, Janelle said, well, if you know, one team has the thoughts on how to actually capture multiple locations, many teams might have questions on that. So that's why we went that route to show everybody. So now, I think that's, let me just go back to my PowerPoint for a second. Thank you very much. Presentation, your entire screen, share, that helps. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so claiming, can you manage different locations? Can you manage your reviews? As you just saw with Marie, you can go in from the group and click on it and you see all your reviews. And don't forget the rule of thumb we shared with you when we did this 2 months ago. If you have a negative review, try and reply, take it offline, but then answer a positive review right after it, and make sure that answer is longer, the positive review, than the answer you had for the negative review. Google will present which reviews had more activity. So you want to have more activity on the positive review. So those are the ones presented. And in that case, I believe what we also tried to do was to take that review and delete it. You can't, as you know, but we reported it, I believe, because it was a little bit, it had nothing to do with the business that they were actually in. So hopefully Google will remove it. So you don't have a guarantee, but sometimes they will if you try to get it removed. So yes, you can manage by a single location. And just as a reminder, when you are looking for your Google listing, you go into your dots up here and you find the My Business. That's how you find your Google listing. So one of the things that we weren't sure when we were talking together, Janelle and Marie and Alexa and myself, was can you, now that you have one email and you have all these Google listings, do you have to go into each one to do a post? So the answer is yes. From your Google listing, you have to go into each location, even if it's the same post, even if you're trying to say the same thing on each of them, you have to go in individually to do your post. So that's time consuming, but it's worth it because it helps that location get found on Google. Doing a listing post is very, very effective for search engine optimization. But I did find a product that I did confirm that with this product, One Up app. Now I haven't used it and none of us have used it yet, so I can't tell you it's beautiful, it's perfect, but you can actually post to different Google listings. So if you have 5 Google listings and it's taking you a long time to post to each of them, it might be worth your while to for $20 a month to try this out, and it gives you, I think, 2 weeks for free to try and post from here to different Google listings. So this does exist. You cannot do it from Hootsuite. If you currently post from Hootsuite to your LinkedIn, to your Facebook, to your Twitter, and then maybe another Twitter account, and you can't post to your Google listing from Hootsuite or from Buffer, but you can from this tool. And again, I haven't used it. Once I signed up for it, I'm getting emails all the time, so they're there, but I haven't tried it. So one of the things I think we were going to ask, was it Alexa or was it Marie to talk about? How do you decide what you want to post on your Google listing? Was it Alexa? You were going to talk about that?
I can talk about it. So
Marie's nodding yes.
So how I decide what to post on my Google my business listing is just I post like general things just to like remind. I don't post like offers or anything like that. I just post like general like reminders or things like close to the time, like say we're launching like Esso diesel efficient recently, and I was posting a reminder for that. I posted like have you called Maritime Fuels for fill up on your home heating oil? Like I'll post a picture of that. Like I'll post somebody at home, with a phone and that kind of stuff. So I'll just post general things that people can see on search, and they're not too intrusive, and I'll link to the website so they can, they can see that, click on it, say, what is that, kind of a call to action. So make sure you have a call to action and make sure it intrigues the customer. So write something with your keywords in it and make
exactly.
sure. Yeah.
So with Google, as you know, on Google, if they're going to be searching, it's because they're looking for your services at that time. So the post should come up if this time of year is the time they would be searching for blank. Make sure you have a post that responds to, here is what you need to do right now if you're looking for blank. And that's what Alexa means by the call to action. So you want to make sure if now is the time that they should be thinking about whatever it is, then you need to be able to use those keywords in your post so that your listing comes up with your post. And if you have a page on your website that they would normally be sent to, or you hope that they would go to do that, or if it's a phone call, then you can, on your Google listing, you could ask them to call or to learn more by clicking on it and going to your website, or to buy now if it's something that you want them to buy right now, or book. Another one that they have is book. If it's booking an appointment, you can do that right from your Google listing, book now. So those are some of the things that you can do from a post on your Google listing. For my clients, I like posting once a week to my Google listing because the listing itself is there on Google. And when they do a search, the post you did within the last week shows up and then it disappears. So that's why I try to do it once a week. It happens to be still part of your listing, but they really have to search for it, but it's there for the next week. I've heard sometimes 4 days, I've heard 7 days. I believe it actually lasts for a week. So
I think it's like 4 days, and then you get like a notification that it's expiring, and then it's like, okay, maybe. Well, I think it lasts for like a week, but it says like you get a notification
it's about to expire. Yeah, which I really appreciate them doing that because then actually you can click on that notification, takes you right to the place that you can actually create the post. So it's nice that they do that, and that goes to that email that claimed it, unless you have a secondary email in there, as I mentioned before. Are there any other thoughts or questions around? One thing Alexa said last week was on your website, make sure or last month rather, your SEO and use language that people are looking for in your posts. Again, you're using language that people are looking for, and the word looking for, just don't forget to use your keywords. It's really critical to use your keywords in those posts. Okay.
And even though like you're using your keywords, you don't want to stuff your text with keywords, and you don't want to sound robotic. Like you want to write for the customer, you want to write for the client. You're always writing with a human in mind. You're not trying to write like for Google, because I mean, ultimately they're the ones that are ranking you, but they're not, at the end of the day, they're not going to be buying your product.
Okay.
That's a good point. One trick I do is that I write for one person and not for a group of people.
Oh, that's interesting. Oops.
Yeah.
I almost hung up on the whole group. I'm trying to get Marie and pin her, but it's for, anyways, okay, I won't go there. So very cool. Thank you, you guys. So I think I am going to go back. I think I don't have very much left. Let me see. What we have on this that I believe, it's an example of what we mean by a post. So when you post, it says free oil heating service. That's just one of the advantages of our commitment. And this was just 6 days ago. So it's from Maritime Tel. I don't know when I got this. I probably posted this when we did the actual Google listing webinar, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was just one of our posts there, and it's just to say, you know, here's our call to action. Like, do you need service? Like when they search for us, like that pops up, and you know, kind of intrigues customers or clients, and they click to learn a bit more.
Perfect. That's an excellent example. So what we have for you at the back of this presentation that you would have received from Janelle is just reminder checklists to how to claim your Google listing, reminder of just steps, what you're going to click on, manage this listing, and then what we showed you with Marie earlier, that you can either get this called to you right away, change the email if you already have another so one of the benefits, if you already have a listing that has been verified, then you try to claim it through that same listing, that same email that you claimed, the one that's been verified. It will give you the option, it seems these days, to be able to immediately have the code sent to that other email. So that's a really great way of claiming your multiple locations. And if you don't, and you need to have a postcard sent to the location, or an email or a mail sent to the location, they'll send you something that looks like this to the location. Unfortunately, a lot of people see that in the mail room, they see it's from Google and they throw it out. They don't realize it's a real letter, so be careful. To find your Google business, again, you go to the dots after you've claimed it, and you'll have this little house that shows up. What I have found recently is that people that are really doing it, that are on the road a lot, that are the communications people, they will download the same app once they've claimed it to their cell phones and do their Google business from their cell phones. That's only if you're on the road a lot. We would say that. So we now wanted to say thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm going to go back to go back and see if there are any other questions.
There is one from Marie, and she brings up a great question, Sophie.
Is this our Marie?
Yeah. Do you want me to?
What's your question?
Well,
Marie, yeah.
On our Google my listings, there is the primary owner, which is the CEO. I want to take him down. Like, I'm the marketing person, go-to person at Pepco. He doesn't have the time. And we have an owner, and I'm the manager. The owner doesn't work with us anymore. I reached out on LinkedIn, and I think she wasn't able to do it. And she said, can you please ask the CEO to send me the request? It's going to take like forever. What are my options? Do I just need to like be patient?
Yeah, no, you have to get the primary owner has to do it.
Okay. I've already sent my email by request, so probably within a month.
Yes, if you're lucky. And you can go back to Google. There is a phone number, but right now I'm finding they're really busy with everything from COVID.
Do not call them.
It's hard, really hard to get through. So I believe this might be faster. You know?
And I don't feel limited. Like, I'm able to manage and do whatever I want. I just like I don't want him to get any notifications or whatever. Like, he doesn't have the time. I'm taking care of this, so I want him to be out.
Yeah.
But he needs to do it.
Well, it's the central communications person, yes, I believe is the one that should own it, not the owner of the company. Because the owner of the company, the reason they hired you is to be the central communications person. But I do believe it shouldn't be a personal email, and yours isn't. Yours is a company email. It should be a company email that is the one that owns the locations. And that company email should be the one associated with the communications manager. And I have helped so many different people over the years try and claim their Google businesses. I've seen Hotmail accounts, I mean, ones that had nothing to do with the business, and then they leave the company and it's impossible to, or that email system doesn't exist any longer. And it's very impossible to go through this process. So at least this person still exists and you'll be able to get it that way. They're going to have to click on it and say they approve the fact that you are now claiming to be the owner. Because that's what happens, is it asks you, what is your position in this company? And you indicate owner, and you really mean owner of the Google listing. So he needs to understand it doesn't mean that you've now become owner of the company. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, I think we're at our time commitment here. So just wanted to thank, Marie, Alexa, and Sophie once again for putting on a great webinar for the team. And thanks for joining us today. Look forward to doing this again sometime soon. And, hopefully you all stay safe. You have a great weekend and you can get out and enjoy some nice sunshine.
Thank you very much.
We will talk to you all soon. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.